Great, it's Minecraft Live season. I should make a video about what I think the next update could be. Wouldn't it be awesome if we got a massive biome update? What if we finally got a combat overhaul? We could get structure updates, old mob vote losers, maybe we could even get an end update. Let me just start writing a script about that and... What do you mean no more big updates? Fine, I'll talk about game drops. So in case you missed it, Mojang just announced some big changes to the way they develop Minecraft. They got rid of the mob vote, announced 2 Minecraft Lives a year, and the biggest news of all, they're moving away from the big once-a-year update format and are going to be releasing smaller, quote-unquote, game drops more frequently throughout the year. Most of the Minecraft community seems thrilled by this news, but for once, I'm the one who's feeling skeptical about these changes. I think that this could end up working extremely well if done correctly, but I can also see this going horribly wrong. Still, I'm hopeful that things are going to work out and that this will be the beginning of a new golden age for Minecraft. So today, I'm going to explain my skepticism and criticisms of this new system, suggest some ideas for game drops in the future, and talk about what this means for 1.22. But first, I'm the Dandalorian, and if you like this kind of content, consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and every person helps us get closer. Anyways, let's get talking. So, why am I worried about these changes? It seems like most people see more frequent game drops and say, cool, more Minecraft, and move on. But we don't know how many of these drops we're going to be getting in a year, or how big these drops will be. They left this pretty vague in the article, and that made me worried. The 2 examples for drops they gave were the pot changes and the armored pause drop. Even if we get 5 or 6 of these a year, it's not as much content as the updates we've been getting lately. But I think that Mojang has thought about this already, and that there are either going to be a lot of drops in a year, or some of them are going to be bigger than any of the other drops we've seen before. But even so, there are just some fundamental flaws with this system. Big updates have worked out really well for Minecraft in the past, and they have made a big impact on the game. With the new system, how are we supposed to get things like an end update or a combat update? How are we supposed to get big changes to the game without, big changes? This problem can actually be solved pretty simply, by splitting the update into parts. I actually think this could work really well. Let's use the Nether update, my favorite update, as an example. Imagine if they released the Warped and Crimson Forest in one update, Netherite in the next, then Piglins, Hoglins, and Bastions, then Striders and Basalt Deltas, and finally finished up with Soul Sand Valleys and Respawn Anchors. We would get the same end result, just spread out during the year. This would keep people engaged and make people excited for the next part of the update to release. This is basically just the way they have been releasing snapshots for years. The difference would be to take a break to fully release the stuff instead of waiting for the entire update to be done. Something similar could happen with an end update, a structure update, a biome update, basically any update that you could want. Except, no, that's not true. There is one update I can think of that just can't happen in this style of update. One of the most requested updates for Minecraft is a new dimension. This would take a lot of work, and there's not really a good way to release it in parts. If you release a dimension, people need to have a reason to go there. Releasing it in parts means that you wouldn't be able to add all of the content at once, which means that the early iterations of the place would feel boring or empty. Granted, if they are releasing these updates frequently, it wouldn't stay like that for long. But I don't think that would keep up with Mojang's quality standards. There are probably other updates I can't think of right now that wouldn't work with a small drop system. But the point is, this new system will make it hard to have significant changes happen to the game. Some of the biggest complaints about the last few updates people have had is their lack of an impact. I've heard it said that you could play as far back as 1.18, and most people wouldn't even notice it was an old version of the game. Are these new game drops really going to fix that problem? I like the idea of game drops, I'm going to talk about that more in a minute, but I don't like the idea of getting rid of large updates completely. If they alternated between drops and large updates every other year, I think that might work a bit better. However, Mojang is a group of really talented and creative developers, and I trust that they can do a really good job with this new system. Who knows, all the worries I just talked about could be made void when they talk about this new system at Minecraft Live on September 28th. So let's start talking about a more positive side of these changes, my ideas for some of these game drops. Whatever they end up doing with these drops, I think there's a lot of potential for them. There are some really obvious things they could and should release as small updates, starting with the vote losers. First off, these are some highly requested features. They would mostly be small additions, which fits perfectly with the new system. Getting things like a Copper Golem and Button update, a Savannah update, and a Crab update would be really cool. This would make a lot of people happy, and it's literally the perfect chance to finish off the biome vote losers. Some of these mobs wouldn't make very significant changes, but they can end up expanding on them. A lot of the mobs we have from the votes seem pretty simple or boring, and having a whole update focus around them would allow the devs to add more to them, like giving the Isolager a new structure or making the Rascal have a ton of new items. Another thing they could do is split up larger ideas into small releases. Yes, they could split up big updates into parts like I talked about earlier, but there are some updates I think actually work better as small releases. People have been begging for a structure update for years, and this is the perfect time to do it. Instead of updating all the old structures in one update, they could use a drop to update one structure and focus on doing a really good job. Imagine if the Stronghold or the Jungle Temple got a rework to make them as good as the Trial Chamber. They could also combine this with other features. If they updated the Nether Fortress, they could add the Wildfire, and if they updated the End City, they could add a new music disc. I personally have been wanting a mob texture and animations update for a while, and while they've been doing it slowly, it hasn't been fast enough. But they could speed up the updates of these old mobs by releasing them in game drops. I don't think these changes take a ton of effort, so if they started including one in every game drop, that would make the changes happen quickly, and it would be more gradual and less jarring than one big update changing all of the mobs at the same time. There are a lot of random features that no one has really thought about that could be tossed into these updates as well. Think about Trails and Tales, one of the most random updates of all time. It might as well have been split up into drops already. It released a bunch of features that didn't really go together that could have been released separately. Archaeology, armor trims, the new wood types, these could have all been released separately as their own drops. And we could get more things like this in the future. New collectibles, new biomes, new blocks, new items, anything goes. They could use this as a chance to add some of the scrapped content from the past, like the Illusioner, fletching table uses, the copper horn, new village variants, and the zombie horse. And there's one specific scrapped concept I think needs to happen. With the bundle finally about to be released, everything revealed at Minecraft 2020 is finally complete. So, logically, it would make sense to release the unfinished stuff from the next year's event. Yep, I'm talking about Fireflies and the Birch Forest updates. This would be a small, easy update to make, and it would make a lot of players, including me, extremely happy. These updates should be used to create goodwill with the Minecraft community, and I don't think there would be anything better at doing this than Fireflies and Birch Forests. A lot of people were angry or sad that these things were not added, and literally everybody would cheer if they released them. If they started off the new system with this, I think everybody would be on board and excited to see what comes next. Those are all of my ideas for game drops, so finally, with all of these changes happening, what does this mean for 1.22? I think they will release a few drops for 1.21 before moving on to 1.22 next year. I also think they will try to keep all of the drops in the update loosely connected to each other, like how 1.20's content was all loosely themed around exploration. I don't think they will make every new drop a new version, but will stick with one version for about a year, pretty much how the update system has worked in the past. This would mean that we won't actually be getting 1.22 until next year. But be honest, is that really that big of a deal? People really wanted the Copper Golem to come in 1.21, and if they want to keep to drops with a similar theme to the rest of the update, maybe the first new drop will add them. Who knows? In summary, I'm cautiously optimistic about these changes and wanted to make my concerns known. I think this new update system has a lot of potential and can help Minecraft be more engaging. I really hope everything works out well, and I'm excited for the 28th to learn more. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the new game drop system. What do you guys think? Do you have some ideas for new drops? Tell me about them in the comments. I'm sorry this video is a little shorter than usual. I wasn't expecting Minecraft Live to be so soon, and I was really trying to get this video out before then. I hope you guys are excited as I am to see what's next for Minecraft. But anyways, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.